Okay, welcome everybody. Again, my name is Jeff. I'm the creator and developer of RevuIQ. And in the last demo video, I walked you through a single location comparison lookup. And in this video, I want to show you a comparison lookup. Now, one of the major features of RevuIQ is this ability. You can use two locations as long as they're listed on Google and have a Google place. You can enter them both in the app at the same time, and you would do that here on the home page, which is the search page. If you click this toggle next to compare two places, you'll see two fields open. The first is for the first location. And again, these can be anything, but I am planning a trip to Vegas here soon. So let's say the Bellagio Hotel, Las Vegas, Nevada. And Cosmopolitan Hotel. And then once you've got both locations in both fields, you can then hit compare places. And what this is going to do, it's going to do several things simultaneously. It's first going to go out and grab the Google Place ID for both locations. And then it's going to take that Google Place ID and it's going to perform another API lookup to basically extract one page of reviews for each location. I briefly touched on the difficulties in sending more reviews than just one page in the last video, so I'm not going to get into that here. If you're curious of why it is one page of reviews, definitely check that video out. But along with the location and the reviews, I bundled a prompt, which is, in actuality, it's actually 7 prompts all packaged along with the reviews to guide ChatGPT, the particular model. Right now I'm using 4.0 mini for those of you that might mean something. But those 7 questions then guide ChatGPT in its analysis and its response, and ultimately the output that you see here. Now, what you see here in blue is only a decoy prompt. It's not the actual prompt that gets sent. It's essentially a summary of the analysis that it performed. So here we'll get down into the overall ratings and customer satisfaction. When comparing the Bellagio Hotel to the Cosmopolitan, the ratings paint a clear picture of customer satisfaction. The Bellagio boasts an impressive average rating of 4.9 from 8 reviews, and the Cosmopolitan holds an average rating of 4.2. Then it gets into key differences in product, service, and atmosphere. Bellagio focuses on service, atmosphere. The Cosmopolitan also does well in service and atmosphere. Unique strengths and weaknesses, exceptional ratings and beautiful reviews, limited detailed feedback. Sometimes that happens with only 8 reviews. Again, one of the side effects of only sending 8 reviews is that when you're only pulling the most current reviews, you're getting the most current customer sentiment. Some of these locations, and in fact, we can actually check this out here. Bellagio has 135, almost 136,000 reviews. The Cosmopolitan has 75,000 reviews. So these are very large places and locations. And as you can see, they're getting multiple reviews an hour. So for other businesses, you might get 8-10 reviews in a year. So the analysis can change depending on the size of the company, the size of the location that you're dealing with. But what I recommend is that once you do a comparison search, if you want to drill into one of the competitors even more, then you can come back here and do a new search and do a single location search. And then you can look up several pages, as many pages as you want, send all of those, and then you can perform a much deeper analysis that goes back for a longer period of time. Notable patterns in recent reviews. That's something to pay attention to. That's going to be consistent with no matter what type of business you send through RevuIQ. That's one of its core abilities, core instructions, is to note patterns. So it's always going to give you that. It does do an overall comparison summary, but as I don't want to say anybody, but as some people might know, that AI has a hard time picking a winner when the decision isn't so clear. And I had that issue with ChatGPT in doing this, in that it was very hesitant to pick a winner. So after a lot of revision of that particular prompt, I was able to get ChatGPT to actually pick a winner. And in this case, the Bellagio wins. It doesn't look like it was a difficult decision in this case. We're talking 4.9 or 4.2. However, when you do run this analysis on businesses that are neck and neck, and in fact might even be exactly equal, it's interesting to see what ChatGPT and the AI analysis will do in order to weight it so that it can. And one of the things that I didn't get into in the last video, which has been on my mind that I want to show you, is that this is really only half of the AI analysis that RevuIQ can do for you. Once you've sent all those reviews to ChatGPT, it has those. So you can now interact with the reviews. And you can say, do any reviews mention room service? And then you can send that. So you're not just limited to what I programmed it to analyze. You can take your analysis deeper, and you can ask it anything you want. In this case, it looks like it was able to find mentions of room service. It doesn't look like it does. However, you can see by its analysis that it tried. What about quiet rooms. So, Cosmopolitan, some guests have expressed concerns of the overall noise levels. And Bellagio, many guests find it to be a tranquil retreat. So, really what I'm trying to demonstrate here is that once you send the reviews to ChatGPT, it now has access to those reviews, and it has contextual awareness as well as a degree of permanence in that it can retain those memories. However, it only will retain those for as long as the API call is open. So you definitely want to do your analysis in one stretch. Nothing happens if the API closes. It's just the end of your analysis. However, you can always go back to reviews and look them up here. And this takes us back to the first page. And since we're here, we might as well go over this. When you install the app, you get 3 free lookups. There's a counter that counts down every time you perform a lookup. When your lookup counter gets to 0, this is the screen you're going to see. It tells you 0 lookups remaining. Purchase more lookups on the profile tab. And we can go over here to the profile tab, and then up here up at the top, 3 lines down, it says purchase more lookups. And here you can buy 3 different packages of 10, 25, and 50 lookups. I believe this gets the price of your lookups down to 19 cents per lookup. Considering the cost that it costs me to have the back end set up to perform these, I think that's a pretty good bargain. I am exploring other ways, other possibilities of monetizing this, but those aren't high priority. AdSense is always a possibility, but I would like to keep it ad free. But there's other things you can do, potentially looking at gamifying this, in which instead of a counter that counts down, there'll also be a counter that counts up, and we'll perhaps have different levels, provide free lookups when you reach certain levels. Still exploring that. Actually, I have quite a few things that I'd like to explore with this app, but just to move on here, let's just say I'm going to do 10 lookups. So you'll see it added the remaining lookups there. And they've added there to the front. And then here we go. Lastly, there's a lot more to get through. But since I know I didn't hit it on the last video, I'll mention it here. Once you perform a search, this search history button will appear, and it will track the history of your reviews. Now, right now, if you press on them, nothing happens. It's really just a system of keeping track. Now, I do plan on having these be clickable. In this whole process, I do have several people who have been testing this out for me, and that has been a consistent ask, is they don't want to have to enter in the location all the time. They're typically tracking a particular location and they're doing it regularly. So that's coming, but it's not there now. Right now, the current version is 1.2. Definitely head over to the App Store and download this and take advantage of your 3 free lookups. I do also plan on releasing this to the Google Play Store. However, right now this is iOS only, so stay tuned for that. And that's going to do it for this video. Thank you guys.